Yo, it's your boy H2O, your potential conditioner, and welcome to another episode of the New Balance Podcast. Fam, it's so good to be with you guys, and I can't wait to delve into today's episode. I have my brother on the podcast, man. I'm excited for you guys to hear his about his life, what he's doing in life. Look, I'm gonna cut to the chase. New Balance Podcast. Show my brother Don Thomas some love. What it do, DT? What's up, baby?
Hey, baby, what's going on, man? It's so good to be on the podcast, Harry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. By way of the boot, Louisiana. That's what they say. Let's go, baby. Do it, baby. So I'm taking your vernacular and using it today, right?
Oh yeah, we represent the boot. I'm representing down here in the BR, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, it's so good to see your face, man. We hadn't seen each other in a minute. And man, so much life has been happening since the last time we seen each other, even though we talk pretty regularly. And
Yeah.
I'm excited, man, to have you here with us with the New Balance family, man. So we're gonna dive in today. I know at the end, man, the people they're gonna be glad that they tuned into this episode. So Don, man, catch us up, man. What's been going on with you, Doc?
Oh man, everything, man. Just take it one day at a time, man. That's all I
Yeah,
can help. You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I'm optimistic about
yeah.
life, just about growth. I'm learning every day from everybody. I'm soaking it in from everybody I'm around.
Right,
And
right.
I just, hey, uh, I've been through a lot of challenges here and there, but I'm
Yeah.
at a hey, I've been thrown to the wolves, so I'm coming back leading the pack.
Yes, sir. I love that
Hey,
about you, man. Yeah. Yeah, I love that about you. You are definitely our man. You're very optimistic, brother. Every time we speak, and I know a little bit of your story, man. I've always found encouragement after hanging up with you, and your perspective on the bounce back is incredible to me, man. And I think that's one of the places you and I connect. I know a little something about the bounce back, and this podcast is designed for people who are needing a bounce back, right? Maybe you
right,
don't need to bounce back today, but if you keep closing your eyes and keep getting up, there's going to come a day where you're going to need a bounce back. And so, man, we believe in not just encouraging you and giving you some forward movement and information. We believe with walking with you until your change comes. So that's the one thing that's unique about this New Balance podcast. And you say, man, you use the term, man, being thrown to the wolves. Um, man, it's not, unfortunately, it's not shocking to hear that. You know, that's the day that we live in. Um, if you live any length of time, you're gonna spend some times with the wolves, right?
exactly.
But I understand that the wolves are designed to bring out some qualities in you, otherwise wouldn't be bought out, right? It's nothing like having your back up against a wall where it forces you to have to figure things out. It forces you to have to transition. It forces you to unlearn and relearn. It forces you to fight for it like never before. And so
Yeah,
we're the better of it, and we're the better for it when we've had the opportunity to have gone through it. And so
yeah,
I think this would be a great place to dive in with you. You do a lot of things in life, Don, but I know the number one thing that you hang your hat on and that you're the most proud of is being a father, right? So, man,
absolutely.
talk to the New Balance podcast, man, about this incredible relationship you have with your son, man, and what that means to you.
Yes. I have two kids. I'm a proud father. My daughter, she's 22. My son he's 14. I go
Yes,
ahead
sir.
and school. And man, let me tell you something. They're both beautiful kids, and I want the thing I love about my son, you know, the spot he's in. My dad used to say this back in the day. He used to just tell me, "Son, time bring about a change," and I'm like, he used to say it so much, and then I realized it really hit me one day when my son, I was out buying him lunch from at McDonald's, and he said, I ordered his food, and he looked at me after I paid for it. He said, "Daddy, I don't eat off the kids' menu no more." And I'm like,
Ah, yeah.
Time
Yeah.
brings change for real.
Yeah. For real. Yeah.
And that's when it really hit. It sunk in that this dude, because I always see him as a baby, but
Right.
he's a grown, and he's right before my eyes. His
Yeah.
voice is
Yeah.
everything changed about him, and it's amazing. I just thank God for giving me the opportunity to even be a father to my
Yeah.
and watch my daughter grow up from a baby. She's blossoming, she's gorgeous and beautiful, and
I know
doing
that's
big.
right.
And I love it. And
Yeah.
it's a privilege. It's a privilege.
For sure it is. Fatherhood is a privilege, man. And man, you said something so simple but yet deep. He's like, yo, dad, I appreciate this meal, but brother ain't eating off the kids' menu no more. You
Yeah,
understand? And that's how quick change is, man. You said he's growing up right before your eyes. But really, when you think about it, when you have hands-on with somebody every day, you're shaping and you're molding them, even though change is happening sometimes right before your eyes, you don't see that necessary change. And what I like about it is what I heard you say in that is that it took him to let you know, hey, pops, I ain't eating over there no more. So now there has to be a transition moment as a father, right? It's like, oh, you right, man. Hold on, you ain't eating over there. Matter of fact, you're gonna eat two or three of them kids meal. I need to go upgrade, homeboy.
great.
And I think in life, man, it's important for us to recognize when it's time for upgrade.
That's right.
Upgrades don't always look and feel the way we think they should. Let me give you an example. If you're on a flight, if you've done any flying anytime, right? If you ever
Right.
flown coach and then you've ever flown first class, you know the difference between coach and first class. I'll take
Right.
first class all day, right? But I've
Right.
flown in coach. But it would be such a blessing to be in coach and somebody walk up to you and say, yo, you have just been upgraded to first class. Now the upgrade has been given to you, but it's going to cost you something to leave coach and get to first class. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to gather your stuff, you're gonna have to take a trip and walk to first class and then be seated there. So even though that's a simplistic example, it's the same principle in life when it's time for upgrade. And man, fathers that are watching this, you have to respond to the upgrades of life, man. And now that's simple with him just saying, hey, I ain't eating that no more. But we're gonna delve into some other upgrades that we know as fathers we have to do that aren't so likable, right? And I'm gonna
Right.
talk about some moments where, as a father, man, I had to upgrade. Right, matter of fact, I'm still doing upgrades, and my kids are in a totally different area, man. Um, One of the things done that we see in our society that's causing us to have to upgrade. And I know it's a word, it's a thing we don't want to talk about, but we have to deal with it because it's in our families, it's in our communities, it's in our ministries, our churches, is that word called divorce. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about the separations that we see happening in life. And man, if you would, for a few seconds, just imagine having a room full of fathers, a room full of sons, a room full of daughters, a room full of mothers. If you had to give them some encouraging words on life after divorce, what would you share with the family on today?
Life after divorce. Life after divorce. That's heavy. I like that. And what I could say is, man, is don't give up. It's not the end of the road.
Right.
It's a new beginning. We have to. I think you have to. You come. You go through a hardship where you trying to figure your way out, but then you figure out how you got to rename the situation. You got to change your whole perspective. You can't
Hmm.
see it that way, and you have to see where you line up in life. Examine yourself. Where do I fall short at? In
Right.
my life, what's holding me back? Figure
Right.
out what take me to the next level. And the first thing that I saw with myself, just encouraging, because you gotta look at yourself. I looked at uh, me as a person. I could, as I'm working during the day, I could see years of my younger life where I walked in mediocrity. I was doing
Mm,
get by.
mm,
That's it. I was cool with that. Long as things stayed stable, I was cool. But sometimes these, when like divorce and it may be another tragedy happen in another man's life, but I'm just saying divorce. We're talking about divorce. Something it takes a shaking like that to shake you up like a bottle of coke. You got to shake the bubbles up. You got to get it stirred up. So it ain't all bad. Some things happen to stir you up, to pick you up, so you can so that you can go to another level. Because if we like to stay where we're comfortable at, we don't like change. And
Right.
you got to change, man. You
Have to
got,
change.
because that's the only way you're gonna get better. And so, just to get back to the point, it's a challenge. Be encouraged, fathers. You can make it.
Yeah.
Just find what you love.
Right.
Find that you love. Find the things. Some people say a bucket list. I had a bucket list, but I learned a lot of things that I hadn't done, like salsa dancing, or whether it
Yeah.
be, something new that's different. That's You got just some that you never done, and you're doing it now, and it progress.
Right.
That's what put me where I'm at now. I can say a lot, but I just want to kind of,
No, that's
kind of
good. No, I
progress.
want to. No, I want to delve into that. You said two powerful things, man. The first thing you talked about is let's get my words spit up. Mediocre. There I go again, twisting the words up. Being
Sorry.
mediocrity, being
Yeah.
mediocre, right? Um, I can attest to that. And if we be honest, there's areas in our life where it's just like, man, we're pretty much just going through the motion, right? And you
Right.
said it took something to shake it up. Now, obviously, divorce is, man, it is a life altering, it's a life changing event. I'm a product of a divorce. Man, my parents divorced, right? And
Right.
I know, man, I know the pain of it. I know the embarrassment of it. I understand all of the blame game of it, right? I
Right.
understand the battle in the mind of how you view yourself, right? Now, I haven't experienced it, and I'm not going to experience it as an adult. That's my conviction and my wife's conviction. But I can tell you, as a young man having to live through it, man, it was hard, right? Now,
Right.
when you say a shakeup, the shakeup that it took for me to mature, unfortunately, I didn't get the shakeup until my adulthood. The divorce
Uh,
happened when I was like 9 years old. So, man, that's been wow. That's been over 40 years ago. You understand?
right.
And one of the things when you talk about just being mediocre, um, what we don't realize is it doesn't just affect us, if it affects everything that's connected to us, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
one of the things you also said is, hey man, in essence, I'm paraphrasing, it's like, okay, this thing happened, so it's like, what do I do and where do I go now? And to me, it sounded like he's like, look, I'm not gonna be a product of it, right? I'm not gonna be a victim of it. I'm gonna be a victor of it. And you
That's right.
said something that was so critical. I think a lot of people don't do is you said, man, I had to look at myself. Sometimes,
Yeah.
man, that is the hardest thing to do in life is to stop life and look
Yeah.
in the mirror and is like, man, I have to look at myself. Part of the reason I'm here is because of my own actions and my own decisions, right? And I know
Right.
that's tough, man. I know it's tough, but it's necessary for us to do it if we're talking about having forward movement in your life. And
Yeah.
man, I just applaud you for being open and just honest. Like, man, look, this is what it is. I can't lie. I'm not gonna cover it up because covering up only is gonna lead to other issues and other problems. And
Right.
I think one of the greatest things you said was like, look, man, I'm going to not only be better out of this. It's something I want my kids to have so he can be better. Can you talk about that? About how you don't want him, as we say, to be a product of divorce, right? I know that's like really not a good phrase, but that's what you hear people say. Well, I'm a product of divorce, right?
Right.
Um, I don't like that product. If I saw that product in the store, I wouldn't buy it, right? So talk to us about life after the divorce as it relates to being a parent and a father.
Okay, life after divorce, being a parent. I think it takes more time. First of all, you start with you got to spend much with you know as much time as you can with your children to let them
Absolutely.
know that it's not their fault.
Absolutely. Good stuff. That's
Right.
good, man. That's
That's the
good.
first because you would not believe how many kids think the reason why my mom and daddy didn't make it was my fault. And I didn't think it was true till I saw it in other examples. And I saw some stuff on TV. I watched, read some things, and that's why I spend as much time as I can with my son and my daughter. I let them know, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is the real truth. And hey, daddy love you, care about you. Hey, I'm here for you. And I think
Right.
that's really important to spend time talking with them, but to
Yeah.
also, but to be an example. So one thing I worked on is getting up at 5:30 every day. 4:45, and I created a routine. I made it as an example. I
Okay.
did a spreadsheet, but I also shared it with him to like,
Mm,
look, what daddy doing. This is what it's gonna take. You know what I'm saying?
right.
He's talking about being on the weightlifting team. Hey, uh, my daughter's going to school to be a nurse. Hey, look, y'all gonna have to, as an example, hey, establish a routine, not to put
Yes.
them through there, allow them to make mistakes, but show them that, hey, you got to go get it.
Yeah.
Life is
Yeah.
not, there are no
Right.
guarantees in life. You got to go get it. So that's one thing I could share, as being a parent, you got to be an example. I started wearing suits more after
Got you.
divorce. Okay,
Got you.
why you wear suits more? I remember um, my dad always wore a suit hat, and he always said, "Hey, when you look a certain way, people respect you."
Yeah.
And so, like, I think about, okay, my son watching how I'm dressing, so I got to dress to part. If you're gonna be an attorney, you dress like an attorney. You're a judge, whether you're a preacher, whatever, a musician. You gotta look. You gotta, if you a progressive man, you're a high value man. You gotta look like something. So
Yes, sir.
that's a thing. I press to be an example that way with my son.
Yeah.
So it's going on. I'm just cut it short right there because
No,
I
that's
keep,
good, man. Yeah, I don't want you to cut it short. I want you to share. I think
yeah.
once again, man, these are some great ideas and some great tips for anybody who finds themselves in it right now, or you may be going through or have gone through it. Is great. I want to ask you this question. You said you ramped up the time that you spent with your kids. Now let me ask you this, because I heard you say something about building a new routine, about the time you got up, what you're doing, what you're telling them, what you're sharing them. Now let me ask you this question. In order to do that, did you have to give some things up in order to invest more into them? Did you have to
Oh,
give some things up?
absolutely. I had to give.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, divorce is bad. We get it. We get it. But it does not define the rest of your life. Work your way out of it. And
That's
then
right.
this is the other nugget that I throw in. If all possible, work it out. Work it out with the individual that you went through it with, right? Let's okay, we didn't make it, right? But the kids, we both gonna make up in our minds that we're not gonna allow our kids to be, once I say it again, this product. There's certain products in the store you're not gonna buy. You understand,
Right.
man? When I get ready to buy, I like nachos. Me and my kids, man, we wild out over some nachos. But I
Yeah.
promise you, they have 4 or 5 different brands of cheese for you to melt on your nachos. I'm not gonna shout out the ones I use, but all those other products, man, I'm never gonna use them because they will not give me the results that I want for my nachos, bro. I'm not gonna waste money, on the ground meat, the seasoning, the jalapenos, the sour cream, all the other good stuff we're gonna have, the rotel. Man, I'm not investing in that, and then I'm gonna get some lousy cheese. And so life is the same way. It's an investment. We have to invest. And so you make up in your mind, if I've invested in this, I'm going to invest in this product. And we're just look, we made up in our mind. I'm not going to allow my children and I'm not going to allow myself to be a product of this. In other words, we're going to flip it, right? And man, I've heard you share the conversations that you've had with your son. We've shared the things that you've been telling them, not only in words but in deed, right? Man, I didn't have that. Man, I was trying to have to figure it out. And there's no knock on my parents, right? But hey, it was what it was. And thank God, because of God's grace, and my mom, she's my hero, bro. She is the epitome of it, right? You can't say anything bad about her. She no wrong, just how I saw her perseverance and what she modeled in front of me, in front of us, it was enough for me to get to the point that I am today. And thank God I've got some new learning, right? But I understand the different phases of it. And I understand you may not be here, you may not be there, but it doesn't matter which level you are, you still have the power to choose what products, right, you're gonna partake of, right? And I hear that from you, man. That's why I love talking with you. Man, if you have never would have shared that with me, I would have never known that you was divorced. And to me, that speaks volumes. Nothing about you says that. And I think that's an testament because I know, man, I'm just telling you, men, we struggle with failure, man, or we struggle with a loss. Let's use that word. We struggle with losing, man. You understand? God designed us to conquer. God designed us to hunt. God designed us to accomplish things. And when we don't do those things, man, it does something to us, man, that affects our development. It affects our view, our worldview. It affects the people and the things around us that we love the most. So it's important for us to deal with these things and have these conversations, man. So this is some great stuff. And then we're talking about men, but if you're a lady, a woman, the same principle can apply for you
Yeah.
as well. And you can find strength in this, right? Um, I think also that one of the things we talk about when you had to deal with this, obviously it's a difficult season. Talk to us. How do you go through that, but yet and still stay focused on your dreams, your aspirations, man? And then now you already said, I got a new plan I got to have for my kids. I got to spend more time with them, man. I got to do, like in my book, I talk about doing new math with a new math mind. Talk about what does that look like, and how do you just continue every day to do that, even when it doesn't look like it's working?
Well, number one, hope I answered this right. And but I'm hey, I think it's it for me, uh I'm motivated by progress.
Okay.
Progress in by me being a musician
Yeah.
is all about repetition in the music
Yeah.
world. Uh
Yeah.
repetition, and when it comes to your gift and you working on songs you got to work on, is you got to go over it, you got to do it over and over and over and over. And I
I
feel
love
like
that.
as far as my daily routine,
Yeah.
number one, and I talked about progress, but progress, here are the divisions of progress with me. It comes from first my health. I gotta
Mhm.
be here first. I
Yeah.
gotta keep my get my blood pressure check, prostate check, all of that. That's
Mm. Now
let
you
this.
going deep on us now, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
going deep on us. Yeah.
yeah. We gotta deal with our health. So I'm working more on my health than I ever have. So I'm up at 4:30 because I'm working. I'm at the gym and I'm listening to motivational speaking at the same time. So when I first wake up in the morning, I'm setting the tone for my day, and all
Gotcha.
that I'm hearing is positive
Right.
because my atmosphere is positive. It starts my day. It's gonna kill the. It's gonna help me kill the rest of the day, and everybody
Yeah.
that and be part of my energy is gonna get. It's just gonna get a blast because I'm just at that point. I'm happy to be alive, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
share what I got, and I'm gonna touch others, and I'm gonna be attractive enough as far as my energy. people gonna be like, well, why are you so happy, or what's happening? Hey man, when you go through divorce, it's nothing lower to me in life. That's a death.
Yeah.
It's a so you go down so low. It's not, to me. It's not a another foot down in the ground you can go. All you
Yeah.
can do is up. So you look up, but then you reach around, you look around to see that there's hurting people everywhere. You stop focusing on yourself and you
Yeah.
worry about people who's hurting. So with all of that saying, I'm talking about progress, my health, and I'm looking to see what change I'm going to make. Those are three key components to where I'm at, and which that's the drive that I have to get
Mhm.
up every day. Just
Um, oh
in
man,
short,
oh man, that's wonderful. You set this up so beautifully for me. Obviously, we've been talking about a physical divorce between a man and a woman and how it impacts, the family, the children. But now I want to turn the table because, man, you said something so deep. I would expecting you to go there with the the physical things that you're having to do, but we are talking about having this mindset, this mantra, right? So you're dealing with it mentally, emotionally. You threw in the next part is your body, the
yeah,
temple, right? So in
right,
other words, like, yeah, I'm gonna do those things, but I also need to make sure if I'm gonna model this, in order to model it, I need to be here in terms of longevity, right? So
right.
that is so critical. That's another part of the assignment that we have to be better at in our families and in our communities. Is we have to just take better care of ourselves naturally. And I'm telling you, that is one of my number one things that I have to get better control of. And it starts with the mindset, right?
That's
Now,
right,
I'm going to swing the bat at something. We've been talking about divorce, but what happens when you divorce your dream? What happens when you divorce your vision? What happens when you divorce your own self, when you quit believing in you and you divorce you and you turn to something else and stop believing? It's easy for us to talk about these principles in divorcing someone we've been with, we love, and now the fallout of it is having to take care of the family. Let's take the focus off of that. Let's talk about when you divorce you, when you divorce your ideas, when you divorce your convictions, when you divorce who you are as a person. How do you dig yourself up out of that? Because it is a lot of that coming on. And the number one reason that happens is this thing that's called time.
right.
Time has a way of weighing on us because we feel like, yo, if it hadn't happened by now, it's not going to happen. Or we get caught up into looking across the fence and like, oh my God, man, I remember them telling me they was doing XYZ. They doing XYZ. Well, newsflash, you're not them. This is your life. This is your story. You don't know the work that they put in to get their grass green. You understand?
Wow,
Possibly they may
wow.
be
Yeah,
watering the grass while you
I'm
sleep at
saying,
night.
man,
Possibly they
wow.
may be putting some type of fertilizer down that you're not using. You just see the end product and you've come to a conclusion that it's a wrap. It's not for me. I'm here to tell you today, pick your dream back up, pick your convictions back up, pick your
Yeah,
ideas back up. I'm on this podcast today not because I've chose to be. It's out of a traumatic experience or the traumatic experiences. So I've made up in my mind and I partnered through my faith. Look, it ain't just about me. We're gonna help somebody else, right? I'm gonna help somebody else along the way. God has been so good to me to send people throughout my life that have helped me, that have stood with me, man, that have prayed for me. And so it's like it's time for me to pay it forward. And I'm telling you, some of you watching, you thought you was watching it because you wanted motivation, you wanted inspiration, you're looking for somebody to coach you. Newsflash, you're the coach. You are the coach. I'm telling you, your season of sitting on the couch, watching episodes, being motivated is over. It's time for you to get your clipboard. It's time for you to figure out what your strategy is so you can help others, man. And so I'm saying that because Don, it's your season for that. Like you go through it, absolutely. We all have to go through it. But then it comes a point where it's like, you know what? It's time for me to say checkmate. I'm not I made this move, I made that move. It's time for me to say checkmate, right? And you watching today, I feel that so strongly. You It's time for you to say checkmate, and it's time for you to close the door on those seasons. Really, the door is closed on those seasons, but it's you that's keeping them open. Why? Because you looking back at what was and what could have been. Close those doors. Embrace right now, right? Embrace it
Right.
right now. I know you thought we are just gonna be talking about natural divorce. No, we're gonna talk about all the other divorces that happen that keeps us from being the people that we should be. I'm telling you, everything in this life that we live, it's not about an individual thing, even though we spend a lot of time working on our individual selves. The reason that you have breath in your body, the reason you woke up this morning is because not just because it has something to do with your life, it's about you impacting somebody else's life. You already
Exactly.
know. You know, I'm gonna wake up. My kids are gonna be impacted by me. My wife is gonna be impacted by me, but not just them alone. I'm gonna help somebody else. I'm gonna impact somebody else. There's days now somebody is impacting my life, and
Yes.
so we can't overlook the work. We can't negate the work. Right? We can't dodge the work. Right now, I'm not at the weight that I desire to be. And the reason I'm at this weight is because I have not put in the work. I know what the work is, I know how to do the work, I know what the requirements are. I have lacked the participation to do it. And so if you
Wow.
listen to the podcast today, I'm telling you, no more excuses. It's time for you to participate at another level. Man, I mean,
Wow.
I didn't even see that coming. That's a great example, man. Just based off of you saying that, when you begin to talk about you having to do some physical things. Now, I want to say something to you that also it'll help you in this. Um, if you follow this podcast, man, we all know it's faith based, straight up. No denying that. One of my favorite speakers is Bishop T.D. Jakes. Man, he dropped so many dimes in so many ways. And I was listening to a message, and he said that you have to dig thirsty. I believe it was a couple weeks ago, last week. I get it mixed up. He said that you have to dig thirsty. He also said that God is not watching what you say, He's watching your shovel. In other
Wow.
words, there is a required work
Yeah.
on each one of us. You know, I could imagine digging thirsty. If you're thirsty and what's underneath is the thing that's going to sustain you, you have a different type of dig when you already have sustenance.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
your mindset is like, I'm never satisfied, right? I'm never satisfied. So I'm in a season now. Yeah, I'm digging some things out for me and my family, but we're also going to dig some things out for others as well. Talk about that. Just that phrase, you have to dig thirsty. God's not watching your mouth, He's watching your shovel. What do you think about that, Don? What registers with you when you hear that?
Man, so many things come to mind. Just for me in my personal life, I'm thinking having a shovel. It's kind of like I look at it like the Mamba mentality that Kobe
Mm,
Bryant,
yeah.
his mentality, his work ethic. Uh,
Mm,
I approach the game. That's a real popular thing that's going around. We've seen the books and stuff.
yeah.
But if we apply that principle to our faith, first of all, like you, far as what we do for God, how serious we are,
Yeah.
how we it, our shovel is really we enthusiastic with it. We we're not even worried about perspiring. We're not worried about sweat. We
Right.
we we come prepared with the stamina to say, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna keep pushing. And you do that by establishing a route. For me, I'm going back to my routine.
Mm-hmm.
Having a routine that goes over and over and over. That's the because in order for it to become uh to to have results, you got to make it a habit first. And
Mm,
I feel like in certain habits, we bring, come into positive habits, effective habits, things that are gonna help us, whether it's reading your Bible for 5 minutes here, like 3 times a day, whatever you got to do, be hungry enough to get it. That's
right.
just example, but it's a lot of things only you know where you're trying to get, and you have to figure out where I'm trying to go with this. And
Right.
what's it gonna take? It's a cost in everything. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah, man.
it's you something, so you have to figure out, okay, what I want and how much it's gonna cost and what I'm willing to give.